So instead of a squirter off a target, I get on the radar, I'm screaming, there's a squirter onto the target. There's a squirter coming onto the target. And I goes, what? Next thing you know, I see lasers from the roof. This dude flips up a blanket. My 2IC came in, he goes, hey, you know you shot a woman. And then I started doing research on what happened to my guy that was talking to a cow. Infield to this wedding party, and now that I'm headquarters element, what sticks out the most is I'm in charge of people now, right?
Okay.
I've gone from a kid to I have souls under my control now, and I don't want to screw that up. So I'm landing outside. You know, I got guys landing on the roofs of this building. Rangers are surrounding us again, and headquarters element, me and medics and EOD guys and, you know, whoever else doesn't go in first, landing out here, out in this field. And they took an RPG to the helicopter immediately. It was a training facility. They had all these weapons laid out underneath blankets and everything. As soon as we hit, they flipped them open and started shooting. It was like, man, here we go again, right? Didn't hit me yet. Like, here we go again. That helicopter dropped everybody off on the roof, limped over, crashed about 200 meters away, hard landing 200 meters away at the end of the field. So that changed everything. I had to send the Rangers over to secure that and check for any wounded. So that took my outer perimeter, most of it. And that they stayed there the entire night. There was gunfire happening, and then a guy comes squirting off the target without a weapon, running, didn't see us. I'm sitting there with my nods watching this dude. We're in a flat, slick mud field that hasn't been planted yet, so you can't even walk. It's very slippery, that kind of stuff that sucks your shoes in and rips your shoes off when you're running through it. So I'm like trying to move on this stuff quietly, and I'm like, hey, there's a dude coming, you know? He's running right towards us. I'm like, got my weapon on him, you know? He's like, he's coming right for us, and then he takes off running off to the left, you know? He doesn't even know we're there. And he didn't have a weapon, so I didn't shoot him, right? And he ends up digging around in the bush over here to my left, in between the target, and he's off to the left. And I can't shoot him because the Rangers are behind him now. So I was like, I'm going to creep up on him. I'm going to deal with this cat so I can get on doing my business, you know? So me and the medic go creeping him up with this guy, and he turns and sees us, just takes off running towards the target. I'm like, I can't shoot him, right? I wanted to, but he wasn't armed. So instead of a squirter off a target, I get on the radar, I'm screaming, there's a squirter onto the target. There's a squirter coming onto the target. And I goes, what? Next thing you know, I see lasers from the roof. This dude flips up a blanket, reaches down and grabs a weapon. He doesn't see the lasers. I see all the lasers, and everyone else in the target sees the lasers. Like, literally, it was like a flower petal of lasers. As soon as he touched that weapon, that was it. He didn't think anything else, you know? And I was like, all right, I'm coming on the target now, guys. Turn off those lasers. So I brought everybody on the target. There were squirters everywhere. Made my way inside, send the commander to the roof, still dealing with stuff. And I'm starting to talk to the guys on target, which is now that's kind of my job. Roll in, control the whole thing, and then talk to detainees and try to figure out if there's another target I can go hit right away before we head back. I'm talking to one of them, and I hear this radio call, hey, got a squirter coming, and then I hear this boom, and I feel the explosion. And it was in a back room of the house. I thought, shit. And I looked at that dude. I go, you better hope none of my men are freaking injured, or I'm going to make this a bad day for you, you know? And the Terp's like, oh. I get a call on the radio. Hey, it's Stinky and Kev, man. They followed a dude into a room, and as soon as he turned around, before they could kill him, he clacked it off. So they were shooting him as he clacked it off. He's like, Kevin's really bad. And he's like, pulled me. He's like, Kevin's really, really bad. And I remember looking at him going, I don't give a shit. You know, I can't give a shit. I have like 40 other people I have to give a shit about, you know? Let's pack him up and get him out of here, you know? So call in the medevac. I did give a shit, right? But I don't like to hear that stuff on the target. Mm-hmm. And that was a second thing that took me back to Somalia, was in Somalia on one of the hits, I shotgunned a door open with a slug. And then I went off and cleared into the room, and then my 2IC came in and he goes, hey, you know you shot a woman. I was like, what? He goes, you know, when you breached that door, it went through that door and through the next wall, and it went into a woman's leg. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, you know? He's like, go in there and take care of her. So I'm in there packaging her up, bandage her up, put her on a stretcher. Me and a friend are carrying her out on exfil, gonna put her on a Humvee. And, you know, brought her back, took care of her and everything. She's probably the richest woman in Somalia now. So that struck me, you know, as a similar thing. And then the helo crashing, and then that room getting blown up, and then this guy standing, and I want to do the medevac right away. But I can't because we're taking fire from everywhere. I've lost all the outer perimeter rangers, so we're taking fire from different houses. And I want to use the AC-130. They can pick up all this shit, and they're looking at it, and they're telling me what's going on. It's like, okay, I need accountability. I got rangers over there. I have team members squirting everywhere, taking down all these houses in this compound. I got a guy blown up. I need to bring a medevac in and give me a head count. All right, we're missing one dude. Missing one guy. Find out what team he was on, find out who it was, and I go, where was he last seen? Go back that way. Find out who he is. I can't suppress targets so I know where everybody's at, and I can't bring a medevac so I suppress targets. Meanwhile, my commander's going, hey, they're calling me from the jock. They want to send a helo with a team on it to go after that squirter that's in a building 3 blocks away. Hell, I don't know. And I go, tell him no. And I took off running. And then the fires guy comes over. Hey, we've got a group of cars coming in to our target at high rate of speed. I go, take them out. Hey, later. Hey, we got a group of cars leaving the area, with guys in the back with guns. I go, take them out. Stop asking me how to do your damn job. Do your job. Commander comes back to me. Hey, they really want us to chase these squirters. I go, tell them no. I got a lot going on. Still looking for a guy, right? I'm not going to send more people out. I'm still looking for one guy so I can suppress fire. They don't know what's going on the ground, right? They want shit done. Third time, I make it to the roof to pass information to the boss. He's like, hey, they really want you to send me just because that was new for him. That was his first hit with me because my other boss had gone home. So he was my new boss. And even though I knew him, I was his instructor in OTC. Now he's my boss. And I go, give me that radio. He took it from, I took it from his radio guy, and I go, hey, this is Zulu 2-2. Negative. I'm not sending anybody after squirters. I'm working the target here. I'm working finding a missing man, and I got a down helo. Out. I threw it back. I'm gonna go, that's how you fucking do it, and I took off, went and about to do my job, and then finally somebody come back, hey, we found old boy. We got him back. Okay, suppress fire. Suppress fires now, and let me know when it's done. Where was he? What's going on? And another thing that struck me, to backtrack, sorry, I'm on the roof. After that bird went down, I'm the one calling Black Hawk down. I had to make that call. Again, I'm going to stuck there all night. Didn't bring extra water. And I'm on the roof going, I did it again, man. I did it again. I let this happen. And I was pissed at myself. One, I was thirsty. We had our nods, but I didn't have extra water. Had a Black Hawk down, had dudes missing, finally got him back, suppressing the fire, and I go, what happened? Where was he? Was he what's going on? How do you have one guy out on his own? Well, he was out talking to a cow. Yeah, I did that too. I go, what? He goes, yeah, he was out talking to a cow, and I go, okay. He goes on the medevac bird with the injured when we go out. He's dehydrated, right? I figure he must be dehydrated. He's acting weird. Medevac finally got them back. That's the first time I found out what a DART team was. Because I'm like, blow that helicopter in place and we're out of here, Negative, we're going to send in a DART team. I go, I get it back on the radio. I go, what's a DART team? A downed aircraft rescue team. And I go, that exists? Yeah, we're going to send out some test pilots, some parts that you need. They're going to put it on the helicopter and then they'll fly it out of there. And I go, how long does that shit take? I'm under fire. I already called for the QRF. You didn't roll the QRF. Everything's kind of settled, but we've been here a long time now. That doesn't, take much for people to trickle in and figure out what's going on. So we go through that process all night of fixing the helicopter, and finally, they take off. They're limping out of there and they take off. All right, load everything up. We load the helos up and we left, and there was a huge cache of explosives in the garage that we left in the car that we found. So anybody in the target that wasn't bad, stay away from this house. It's not going to be good for 3 days. So we told them to stay away for like days. We flew back, found out that the helicopter had to make a hard landing somewhere else. And they worked through that on their own and picked back up and limped to the rear. And I'm like, thank goodness this is over. Then I went to the talk and watched them bomb that house, and destroy that other shit there. And then I started doing research on what happened to my guy that was talking to a cow and how's my other guy doing. He ended up doing all right. The guy that got blown up was fine. And the other guy, I thought was he dehydrated. I went down and was looking in his room, asking his teammates, like, what's going on? And there's Ambien on the table. There's Ambien over here. There's Ambien over there, And I'm like, shit. Tonight we take Ambien, then we roll out on a hit. And we forgot we take Ambien. And so we take more Ambien and we roll out on hits. And you're on Ambien talking to cows on a hit. And it hit me that I'd failed.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.